Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome everyone to this evening's meeting on the Select Committee on Redistricting and Elections. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Senator Lang, Senator Cannizzaro, Senator Doniati, Senator Goicoechea, Senator Severs-Gansert, Senator Buck, Chair Orenshaw.
Here. Madam Secretary, we do have a quorum. We have all members present. A few housekeeping measures. If anyone wishes to testify during the public comment period, we do ask you to please place your name on the sign-in sheet in the back of the room if you're here in Carson City. Otherwise, when we recognize you via telephone or Zoom, we do ask anyone to state their name and spell it for the record. If you're here in the committee room, we ask you to turn on your microphone, clearly state and spell your name, and if you represent an organization, to please state what organization you represent. Anyone in the committee room, we ask to turn off cell phones and set them to silent. Please step out of the committee room if you need to take a phone call. Today we have one item on our agenda for work session. We have Senate Bill 1, which we heard earlier today in a joint session with the Assembly Committee on Redistricting and Elections. Mr. Stewart.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. For the record, Michael Stewart, your committee policy analyst. As you know, committee members, Senate Bill 1 revises the districts from which members of the legislature, members of the State Board of Education, and representative Congress are elected. It also revises the petition districts for certain initiatives and referendum proposing statewide ballot measures. And those are, as you know, coterminous with districts for representative in Congress. And finally, the measure authorizes the chair of the Legislative Commission to direct the Legislative Counsel Bureau to contract for professional and other services for certain actions or proceedings relating to election or petition districts. And there are no amendments for consideration at this time. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stewart. We had a lot of testimony today, a lot of input from the community, both here in person and on the telephone, on Zoom, through audio. And I think that there are a lot of suggestions that probably will make their way into the legislation. But with the special session and time being of the essence, the late numbers we got back from the Census Bureau, I think it's important that we keep this bill moving. And I would accept a motion to do pass if there's anyone who would make that motion tonight.
Mr. Chair, I move to pass.
I have a motion from Vice Chair Lang. Is there a second? Second. I have a second from Majority Leader Cannizzaro. Is there any discussion on the motion? Majority Leader Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate, of course, this committee's work today and our Assembly colleagues for joining us, and of course, everyone who's here with us in Carson City and who has joined us online and over the phones to give what I think is really important feedback. And obviously, in the special session, we want to make sure that we're keeping our legislation moving, but certainly taking a look at all of the, I think, really engaging public comment that we've had and different suggestions to try and make sure that we can incorporate those things that may need to be changed in the map. So I think with the understanding that there may be some future changes, I'm happy to support the motion and would urge my colleagues to do so as well at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Majority Leader. Any other discussion on the motion? Senator Goicoechea.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and unfortunately I can't support SB 1 as written. I am looking forward to see if we can get maybe some of the amendments that were offered today accepted. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Gansert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I, too, will not be in support of the measure, and I think we heard loud and clear from different interest groups that they weren't well represented and that we absolutely can do a better job. And I appreciated the opposition testimony because there were clearly some districts, some maps that would work better for many of those interest groups, and also some of the discussion we had about Washoe County and the disenfranchisement, I believe, of 2/3 of Washoe County. So I will not be supporting the measure. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Gansert. Any other discussion on the motion? All right, not seeing any discussion. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Madam Secretary, would you please mark Senator Goicoechea, Senator Gansert, Senator Buck as nays? The motion does pass. And Mr. Stewart, I'll take the floor statement for Senate Bill 1. Now we'd like to go to public comment, and I want to make sure that anybody who wants to call in, they would dial area code 669-900-6833. When prompted, you would put in the meeting ID of 856-249-62563, and then press the pound sign. So I'll give a little time for anybody who wants to call in on public comment. And if we have public comment here in Carson City, if anybody would like to speak, we are limiting public comment to 3 minutes per speaker. Broadcasting, is there anyone on the phone lines?
Chair, your public line is open and working and you have no callers at this time.
Okay, if we can just wait a little while, and I'll give that number one more time. It is area code 669-900-6833, and then you'd have to type in the meeting ID of 856-249-62563, then the pound sign. Broadcasting, I just wanted to check back and see if anybody had called in for public comment.
Thank you, Chair. The public line is open and working. However, there are no callers wishing to offer public comment at this time.
All right, with that, members, we are adjourned.